Narcissistic individuals tend to have a very sick, twisted sense of humour. Now, people's humour can vary. Some people need to create humour out of pain and suffering in order to ease their pain and suffering. Some people can create humour at the expense of other people. However, genuine people don't necessarily direct it to an individual target. They might direct it to a group of people. And if somebody directs something similar to them, they don't take offence by it. Some people do take offence by it, even when it's not directed at them. So, for example, blonde-haired women. There's so many jokes about blonde-haired women. Now, I dye my hair blonde these days, but it used to be naturally blonde. I find it perfect as an excuse when I park my car incorrectly. Oh, well, I'm blonde. So it's an excuse, it's a justification. It's not a reason. And that's due to the stereotype that's created around blonde-haired people. And there's plenty of jokes. Now, many blonde-haired people do not mind these jokes. Some people take offence to them. You can have someone with blonde hair that takes the mickey out of somebody with red hair. And they wouldn't be offended if the person with red hair then took the mickey out of the person with the blonde hair. And there's plenty of different examples in life on this. However, when it comes to narcissistic individuals, they can have some of the highest forms of sarcasm and insults and belittlements and criticisms towards everybody else. But if anything gets fired back at them, you're the worst person in the world. They are the most offended people you could ever meet. And you can get people that are offended by what seem to be harmless jokes. Yet you will notice that those who are genuine, that get offended by what to most people are harmless, but that to that individual it is not harmless, it's personal. They don't make the same jokes about other people. They don't do it. They're not sarcastic. Everyone is an individual. And it's about being ourselves and allowing other people to be themselves, yet be respectful of other people's feelings, which narcissistic people believe that the world should revolve around them. So they believe they can humiliate and mock and criticise and do everything they can to make a joke at your expense. And when you get offended, they will claim that they were only joking, only they weren't. Because if you crack a joke that offends somebody and they let you know that it offends them and you care about them, you do not do it again. Narcissistic people pick up on the information and think, that got them. And then they do it again in front of other people to offend you all the more. So humour varies from person to person. When it comes to a narcissistic individual, they're entitled to make a joke at everybody else's expense, but nobody is allowed to make one at theirs. They will become the biggest victim you have ever met. And with their sixth sense of humour, they will make cruel jokes at somebody else's expense. And it's not to lighten the mood. It's not to find the humour in a very negative, toxic, hurtful situation. It's to put somebody down. It's to bring them dragging down. It's not actually funny. Those around them can usually laugh out of nervousness because you're not quite sure what to say or what to do. They will make fun of other people's insecurities, vulnerabilities and differences. Now again, people can do this. Comedians will do this. And it's not meant with any harm. It's just to make light of a very challenging world that we live in at times. With a narcissistic person, it's purposefully done. They will find out your biggest insecurities and weaknesses and vulnerabilities and differences, and they will use them against you to mock you, to humiliate you, to destroy your self-esteem, and then claim they were only joking. And telling them how you feel, communicating your boundaries with them does not work. They will just do it all the more. They will belittle you in front of other people. Yeah, they do this for their own amusement. So if you mess up and you're embarrassed about your mistake, even though you can admit to your mistake, they will bring it up in front of the people you don't want it bringing up around and make a big deal out of it. Make sure everyone knows. Yeah, if you were to just say something to a narcissistic person that they don't agree with in front of other people, they'll believe you've belittled them, they'll get offended and they'll fall silent on you. They're allowed to fall silent on you, but you are not allowed to fall silent on them. If you do that, then you're mardy, you're grumpy, you're being awkward, you're being difficult. They will gaslight people. Often when they do it on purpose, they get an enjoyment out of the confusion that they're creating for those around them. They will create problems for other people, and then they will stand back and enjoy the show. They'll wash their hands and pretend that they had absolutely nothing to do with it, but they get an enjoyment out of the problems they've created for other people. They get an enjoyment out of watching people fail, watching people fall on hard times. They like the empathy. They're very envious of other people. So if they're envious and they see somebody failing, if they see somebody falling on hard times, it pleases the narcissist. And they cannot wait to go around and gossip about what's happening to that person. And it's not out of concern. It's not out of striking up a conversation. Hey, have you heard what's happened to so-and-so? It's terrible, isn't it? With a narcissistic individual, it couldn't have happened to a nicer person, could it? They're really pleased and really smug when something happens to another person. They get pleasure out of other people's pain, which is why they will often stand there and watch you cry with a smirk on their face, no remorse, and blame you for the pain that they've caused you. And they get a pleasure out of this pain. They enjoy toying with your emotions. That smirk on their face shows for a moment on the outside what they're feeling on the inside. They enjoy getting one over on someone. Yet they perceive anyone, even if you just have difference of opinion, of you trying to get one over on them. You going for a job interview and getting the job, that's you trying to get one over on them. You being successful and achieving something, that's you trying to get one over on them. You being an artist, that's you trying to get one over on them. You being a sportsman or woman, that's you trying to get one over on them. And that is when they are looking to find your mistake, watch you fail, so that they can point it out to everybody and feel better about who they are as a person. Because they failed to work on themselves, they just go all out to blame everybody else. Any examples of a narcissistic twisted sense of humour that you noticed, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support of the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have a couple of books out on Amazon, 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People if you cannot go no contact, and a Narcissists Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse. They shall be in the description also if you'd like to go and check them out. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.